What got you? Was it spicy?
What'd you put in this fucking sandwich?
It's it's those Gandia peppers, bro. Is it really spicy?
No. You know I eat spicy food all the time. I just didn't expect it coming from you.
Okay. Oh, I don't know how to take that.
Welcome back to Industry Only at the Cheese Store. Dom has given me his version of a spicy chicken sandwich. I was surprised because there's never been any kick in any of the food that I've eaten here before.
It's not. First of all, it's not even called a spice. It has a little subtle spice. No,
I'm joking. Dom gave me this nicely balanced chicken sandwich, Jadori chicken sandwich. Do you want to tell everybody about it? Because I've never had this before.
So Jadori chicken, it's what we use here at the shop. Brined overnight and then cooked, grilled, and then we have, of course, our sun-dried tomato pesto. We take a little bit of it's chipotle. It's a little chipotle aioli on there. And then fresh Parmesan cheese. And then we do a little bit of arugula. And it's kind of a new sandwich for us. We kind of played around with it in the beginning for a little while, but I feel like over the past couple of months, we really honed in on the flavor profile, and I'm really satisfied with it. It's the newest addition to the menu right now.
It's really, really good.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that, bro. It's awesome.
So let's talk about the summer because, look, we are filming this a little bit before the summer, but it feels like the summer madness has already started. And if you're in the food world, I think early May is some of the craziest shit that I've ever seen. So I'm just going to run you through a list. I wrote a story about this recently of all these amazing, prominent things that Dom and the Cheese Store Beverly Hills did not get invited to.
This is it. Here we go.
So on May 1st through 4th, there's a new food festival in Frisco, Texas, in North Texas near Dallas. Omni PGA Frisco Resort and Spa is hosting the inaugural Savor Festival. There are some people that you've probably seen on TV or from their prominent restaurants that don't even need last names at this point, like Antonia and Kwame and Shota. Sneffy Izzard's going to be there. There's going to be a charity component.
Benefiting the North Texas Food Bank.
Yeah,
right?
Who knows? Yeah. There's going to be a celebrity. Yeah, there's going to be a charity component. There's going to be a celebrity golf tournament. And then
hold on. I got to interrupt you. That's what I would love to get invited to.
Right.
I want to do that celebrity golf thing.
Remember last year?
And apparently this place is amazing.
Yeah, this place is amazing. But remember last year at the Revelry Food Festival in Wynn, you also did not get invited to be
when
part
I
of
got
the
to watch
tournament.
everybody tee off.
And literally Leeway's playing golf with Thomas Keller.
No, it wasn't me. Wasn't there.
Yeah.
Bought my clubs, bought everything, didn't get invited to play.
Oh, wow. Look who's calling me right now. This is a coincidence, guys.
Is this a coincidence?
It is a coincidence.
Let's see.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Hi. So the funny coincidental part about this is that I am with Dom and we're actually filming podcasts.
I have Dom on my list to thank him today.
Love it.
Dom, the soup was so good.
Oh, cool.
The olive oils were so good. The only thing that I was like, because I was thinking that it was panettone, so I gave this kid this big piece of that.
Oh, the rum cake
that you gave me,
and the kid still wasted.
Oh no!
and she was like, "This is horrible." And
oh
like,
no!
Like panettone, and then I took a bite of it. I was like, "Oh, geez."
Yeah, yeah. There's a hint of rum in there.
Yeah, you think?
All
right.
Okay.
Bye, gentlemen.
Talk to you
Thank
soon.
you, Elizabeth.
So I just wanted to go through a list of events, happening in the coming days that Dom and the Cheese Store Beverly Hills were not invited to.
And you called this May Madness, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah, it's May Madness.
I love it.
And so on May 1 through 4, the Omni PGA Frisco Resort and Spa, that's, near Dallas in North Texas, they're doing their first Savor Festival. There's a charity component, a celebrity golf part. There's a performance from Midland. I know you really want to be part of the celebrity golf tournament. Last year at Revelry, when Leeway was playing golf with Thomas Keller at Wynn, I had never seen you more jealous. Like you were triggered,
I was like
man.
at the window, if you could imagine, my hands were pressed against the glass and I'm just watching Leeway shank balls all over the place. And I'm trying, I was like, man, I would die to go play in that right now.
Yeah. Leeway's a scratch golfer. Did you know
Is
that?
he really?
I have no idea.
No, he doesn't look like a scratch golfer to me. But then again, neither am I. I called them out.
So the Savor Festival, there are these chefs that you don't even need to say their last names. You know who they are. When we're talking about Antonia, Kwame, Shota, the great Elizabeth Blau, who obviously creates food events, obviously was a huge part of creating Wynn's Revelry Festival that we just discussed. Huge part of having World's 50 Best being at Wynn last year. Also is very successful running restaurants. So she has the Crown Block Steakhouse. She'll be repping that. Let's talk a little bit about your friend Antonia, right? I mean, she just had a huge victory on the Food Network. What's the latest with her?
Yeah, so she was, yes, massive victory. So now she's hosting, right? I thought you would know this, Andy. I didn't even write it down. So not only that, but I absolutely adore her. I think she is incredible. I remember when I started my business a little while ago, she actually gave me a chance to actually sell to her. And it was awesome. And she's really loyal.
Well, didn't she win $150,000 like on the Food Network Tournament of Champions? Like, you're going to change her prices for the cheese?
Yeah, well, yeah, they just went up.
Yeah, right?
Just kidding, Antonia. No, but I mean, she's a great person. She's from Long Island. I mean, how could you not love her? And I think she's an unbelievably talented chef. I think she is some of the best in our industry. And I will say she just did a pop-up in the Philippines, I think. Mm-hmm. And we had a whole bunch of product that had to get out to her. And I don't know how, I mean, we made it work, but we got it out to her and she kind of texted me. And I haven't spoken to her in a while, but she texted me. She's like, hey man, I just want to say thank you so much. Like that. And I was like, all right, well, cool. Let me use this as an opportunity.
She was cooking her food in the Philippines and needed your ingredients.
Yeah.
Even though you don't she didn't invite you to the food festival.
Nothing. She doesn't invite me anywhere.
Wow.
Absolutely.
All right. So other things that Dom is not invited to. This is also F1 weekend and Kentucky Derby weekend coming up at the same time. How
does that work, by the way? Like, I mean, if you're like, are you in two places at once? If you're a chef, like, what are you doing?
A lot of times people are like, look, I was at the Kentucky Derby a couple years ago, the year that, great chefs like Shirley Chung and Sam Four and Sam Mason were at the Kentucky Derby. And then the next day I flew to Miami where there were just a bunch of great food events like during F1. Like, look, people on the circuit just do this. And obviously, like, look, these are all elite things, but for a lot of chefs, they do go to multiple ones. Mm-hmm. It's like, you didn't get invited to the Kentucky Derby. Your boy, Aaron May, cooking it.
I love Aaron. I miss him.
Cooking there this year. So you didn't get invited to that either?
Nope. No, right, so I'll have to watch on TV.
Aaron May, Mark Murphy, our friend Akira Bach, or...
How does one get into these circuits? How does one get involved? Like, how do you get invited to do these are like massive events.
I mean...
How does that happen?
I guess you don't do it by selling cheese in Beverly Hills. I don't know.
It's crazy.
Who's your agent, Tom?
I know. I need one.
So we haven't even talked about the crazy stuff, right? So... I'm escaping all this because I'm going to Maui. Nobu's doing the grand opening. Nobu's so OG.
God,
he literally
so sorry.
Is like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is going to be like you.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Going to Cabo and eating at Nancy Silverton's restaurant. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to eat at Nobu. No. This Nobu designed by the Rockwell Group. Like, I've been looking at the renderings. Like, it's one of the craziest, most beautiful indoor-outdoor settings I've ever seen. I'm just excited to have a little bit of a getaway, but also if you understand the history of chefs becoming basically A-list brands, I mean, Nobu and Mira Tepper and all their partners, obviously Robert De Niro is part of this too. They invented this.
I was going to say, like, they kind of like Nobu kind of like paved the way.
Yeah, without them doing this.
Yeah.
I I would say maybe Nobu and Wolfgang, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but they were the OG ones, right? That just like, let's go be famous in every way, but still have it be about our food.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the people that followed in the footsteps, Mario Carbone, Major Food Group, they're doing their Carbone Beach.
Those guys are great.
Quote unquote supper club on the sand. I wrote a story in Observer about all of this. I'm just basically just rereading something I wrote. This is how prepared I am, Dom. I'm sorry.
Dude, I have notes too, bro.
Yeah. Grant Achatz is doing... No. I mean, I'm so prepared that I'm literally just...
Oh, you're rattling off the story you wrote.
Reading some shit that I already did. That's how seriously I take this podcast. So no, Grant Achatz, Alinea pop-up, Faena Miami Beach that starts April 30th. Massimo Bottura and Virgilio Martinez, two pretty famous chefs.
Once Upon a Kitchen?
That were number one. Yeah, they're doing Once Upon a Kitchen.
Crazy.
So it's just endless the amount of A-list things that can happen without you or your cheese. But I think other people like they have different standards. So let's talk about this. What are you doing this summer? Or I mean, I know that there's a Truly Pizza pop-up coming up at Casa del Mar in Santa Monica that you and Big Noise Beer, which we're drinking right now,
love it, Andy. Solid, buddy.
is part of.
Mhm.
But another thing that we're sort of talking about is, yes, LA just had Enrique Olvera, and yes, LA just had Roscioli, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the other types of pop-ups like that you would want to see in LA? Like, what are the dreams? Why don't we have this new food festival with Antonia? Why don't we have Carbone Beach? Why don't we have Virgilio? Or what would you like to see? Like, unlimited budget, Dom. You get to pretend to be Elizabeth Blau for a day. What do you want to curate? Who do you want to see in LA?
I mean, it's kind of crazy because I feel like there's a lot of people that have already come to LA, right? Like when you had asked me, what would I envision in terms of like the best sort of food pop up? My thing, like, yes, I mean, we're doing a lot of it already in LA, right? We have Pizza Fest. I mean, things are endless. I remember actually one of the probably what inspired me the most about these pop-ups or whatever these food festivals. Do you remember when Wolfgang did his at the Universal Studios backlot when he did his?
I never went, but I heard a lot about it, and also like they took it to New York, right?
Oh, it was unreal, but it was everything from like just the start of that weekend. All his chefs came out. Like the start of that weekend, there was always something going on. Like they had a big dinner that they did at Spago, and but they brought in I mean, yes. It was the Nobus. It was all of the chefs. It was a chef. Like Danielle, name the chef, they were here. And it was on the backlot of Universal Studios. And I remember, oh God, it was like, I mean, it was a while ago. It was probably like when I first started working at the store, maybe a few years after that. And, the cheese store obviously was invited. I obviously didn't own it at the time, but we did a whole cheese spread. And I remember going there and seeing, it was like who's who in the culinary world. Not even like in LA or in America.
So
it was like a who's who.
So you're saying that nobody's doing it on that level anymore with respect to the people that are doing it?
No. With respect to everyone that's doing what they're doing right now, I don't know. I can't say that I've seen that many titans of the industry in one spot.
Let me ask it this a different way.
Yeah.
Who are the 5 chefs you'd be most excited if they were doing an event like this in LA? Like,
actually, the question that you had asked me before, like with the pop-up, I just want to answer that because I think this is something for us to think about. And I don't like to reveal cards, but I also
you could bring people in. That's my point.
Yes, but okay, but I truly believe that if you ask me like the greatest pop-up we could do, I think it's kind of like what you almost are already doing by going from city to city and you're doing these industry only events and things like that. For me, I would love to grab, yes, I mean, you grab the big chefs, of course. You have like some huge dinner or huge event like what Wolfgang had at the backlot of Studio City. But, I would almost love to go into the different cities around America, do our podcast and like interview the people who are like pioneers and doing things amazing in that area that maybe they don't get as much attention as some of these like, top chefs and things like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think it's amazing. But I feel like, I would love to see us.
Oh, so, all right. So basically,
right, like
nobody that we just mentioned, because you're a little bit jealous that they all got invites and you didn't. And just the next tier.
Well said, Andy. Well said.
The people who'll just look up to you.
No. I think that I don't know. I feel like, having this podcast and us doing what we're doing, I feel like we almost owe it to our craft to sort of push and promote some of the people that don't necessarily get the accolades yet, but are getting them. And I would like to see a food festival.
That's what I like to do all the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you do, right? And I learned a lot by watching you in industry only. So I don't know. I feel like doing events along those lines and promoting those kinds of people. And then of course, you get a couple of the titans of the industry to do something, but I don't know. I think that there's an opportunity for us to really help tell the stories. And I think we could eat really well while we're doing it. And I think, we have mics in front of us, tell the story.
All right. So where do you want to go, Dom? So we're going to San Diego in late June. Mm-hmm. We're doing an industry only party with Puffer Malarkey at
That's crazy.
Urbanwood. It's
Mhm.
going to be great. But like after that, where do you want to go, Dom? Tell me what's on the itinerary.
I don't know. I feel like, okay, so I think that, I mean, if we're going to just throw it out there, like, I'm not going to go to the middle of New York City and Manhattan, but like, maybe we pop into Brooklyn, see what's going on in Brooklyn again, right? Pop into like, I don't know. I feel like if you're a chef in Las Vegas and you're really
There's
trying
a
to
lot
make
going
it.
on in Brooklyn right now.
No, I
Yeah.
know, but I'm just saying, like, maybe focus on some of the people that aren't as popular but are still doing great things. Like what brought Brooklyn to be the mecca that Brooklyn is, right?
You want to go to whatever the new generation of the pork store is and the place that makes focaccia.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And also too, like, how many great restaurants are in Las Vegas that are not on the Strip, that are people doing great things that we haven't really, like, focused on? Because of course, if you're a chef and you have a restaurant in a Strip casino,
Dom, I gotta give
you've
you a
already
little bit
made
of a shot.
yeah.
Did you come to our Esther's Kitchen party?
Which one?
Our party at Esther's Kitchen in Las Vegas?
I wasn't there that night.
Yeah.
I got in the next day. I didn't get in there that night.
You missed that party. We did that party. We probably had 20 plus off-strip chefs that were just all fucking around next to
I'm
to
sure
our-
you did, but I'm just giving you examples of the
Right,
cities
of
to
what
go
you-
into
yeah.
of what I would do, right? Like Texas. Texas is like emerging. There's chefs everywhere. Like, can we find a pocket of chefs that are, on the cusp of doing something great that just haven't gotten the accolades yet? Like, I feel like there's the stories to be told. I mean, and also too, of course, when you're a chef and you're trying as hard as you can to like get your restaurant out there and get, it's really hard. Our industry is really hard. And of course, it's feast or famine for some of these chefs. So I feel like, we have a voice. I think we should like almost pay it back and bring out some of these young or even older rising chefs that still haven't really maybe got the attention they deserve. That would be my food festival.
All right, I'm going to give you some
And we can
homework.
headline it with other not bigger, but like headline it with other chefs. But really, like, I don't know, like,
All right, I'm going to give you some homework where like,
I'm listening. I got my pen. I got my paper.
I want you to go find 5 or 10 chefs that maybe like I haven't heard of or I haven't thought about enough. And let's figure out how to have some kind of conversation with them. All right,
I would love it. Look, you guys, I mean, tell us, where do you guys go and eat? Who do you love? What's a restaurant we should try? Who's a chef's name that you guys would like to refer to us? Drop it in the comments. Send us a DM. We would love to hear from you.
All right, well, I didn't realize that what you wanted to do is create a new food festival and curate it, but I'm down for this idea. Send me some names and we'll go.
I think it's great. And also too, bro, I mean, you already have the voice. I mean, you're dialed in more than anyone that I know that's dialed in.
Well, I mean, I've been wanting, for
Right?
years and years.
You're doing it. You're
when I've
doing
been
it.
writing,
You're doing it.
I look for those stories. Those
Yeah.
are the best stories. So what's up with you for the summer, given that you haven't gotten invited to a single A-list thing?
Well, the schedule is wide open, Andy. No, so this summer it's actually really cool. We're going to, and I've only driven through. I've never been to Positano in Italy, but so we're going to Positano. We're staying at La Serenus, which I know is like an older hotel, but supposed to be spectacular. I'm really excited about that. We're going for one of my best friend's 50th birthdays, and it's interesting because I went for another friend's 50th birthday last year. He's having it at Borgognati. They had it at Borgognati in Puglia. And then this year, one of my best friends is having his 50th at Borgognati also. So I guess word got out. But so we're going to Positano for, I think, 5 days. And then we're going to, something like that, like 5 days. And then we're going to be in Puglia for 5 days. Even though we've already been to this part of Italy, at least the
I know we
Puglia
spoke
part.
about
We
Puglia
spoke
on
about
another
Puglia last
podcast.
time. But I mean, it's kind of crazy.
You're
'cause
going to Fiesta?
everybody's exactly. Everyone's hitting me. That was great, Andy. Everyone's hitting me up right now on, where should we go when we're traveling in Italy and stuff like that. And I always recommend, if you haven't been to Puglia, you should go. So I'm really excited about that. I'm also excited too, because, and we speak about this, right? Like February I was in Italy doing these trips to curate more products and stuff. And it's a trip I always tell everyone not to go on because we did 31 cities in 12 days. But this particular trip that we're doing in the summertime is really great because I'm actually getting to go with my family and stuff. And last summer, this will be the third time that we're staying at Borgo, which I absolutely love. If you've never been, you need to go and stay at this hotel. It's unlike any other place.
How luxurious is it really?
It's expensive. I'm not gonna lie. It's
No,
expensive.
no.
It's not like
I'm not asking how rich you are. I wasn't asking
No,
how
not
much
rich
you
at
paid
all.
for it. No, but like how luxurious and over the top is it? Like what are the amenities that make this place so special?
I mean, it's everything. Obviously, it's from the level of service. They're basically their own like little agriturismo, which a lot of places are in Italy. But this is it's in like the Pugliese countryside. But you're near the water. And they have a golf course right across the way, which is beautiful, San Domenico golf course. And at Borgo, you know, they have beautiful swimming pools, and it gets hot in Puglia, especially, you know, in June. So it's like pretty hot, but the food is just spectacular. The people are great. You're having great drinks. And then like maybe 10 to 15 minutes away, there's a whole slew of restaurants where they do like, it's kind of interesting because like Italians love sushi, right? And they do their version of sushi, but obviously with Italian fish.
So is it
crudo.
sushi or is it crudo? Yeah.
It's crudo.
Yeah.
But you know, but they do it like you'll get some guys that are doing it over rice. They're not just doing it like crudo. But so there's like a sushi place, there's like a bunch of different styles.
Right, because you could argue that the best raw seafood, right? If it's not in Japan, it's in the Amalfi Coast, right?
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, it's delicious, absolutely. And so like, and everything's like a local catch there. So, you know, I think that.
Have you been to Maria here? I mean, I know they serve your cheese.
I have not been to Maria here. It's unfortunate because when they did Friends and Family, obviously everything happened, you know, with the fires and stuff. And
All right, so you didn't get to go.
I did not get to go.
That's
yet.
the place in LA to go for crudos, obviously.
Yeah. No, I heard great things about it. I just haven't been yet.
Right.
Been to one in New York, just haven't been to one out here.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I mean, you know, going to Puglia, I think it's going to be amazing. Positano, I'm really looking forward to doing that. I know it's like you're kind of like you're in Positano in the summertime in June, which is crowded, and I'm sure it's going to be like a lot of tourist stuff. But I'm lucky enough to have a lot of friends that live in Italy that kind of gave us a little sneak peek.
You're going to go pop off at the
restaurants.
beach club and all that? Or?
Sure, why not? When in Rome, right? But I think it's really cute too because my daughter's 15, my daughter Francesca, and you know, we went to Borgo. The first time we went to Borgo was, let me think about this for a second. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. We had gone to Israel first for my best friend's son's bar mitzvah, and then after that, we were like, "Yo, we're this far. We're like 2.5 hours away. Israel's like 2.5, maybe 3 hours away from Italy. We're like, screw it, let's go to Borgo." So we did that as a family, and we met up with another family there. And then my daughter stayed in touch with these like, they have like these little kid clubs, and some of the counselors there, because you know she was like 13 at the time. Some of the counselors there actually stayed in touch with her. So she's for the last couple of years, she's always WhatsApped them and stuff. So the same kids are still going to be there. So it's like
that's fun.
It's kind of cool. Like, you know, all the kids are getting together. We're gonna go. We'll be at Borgo with like 5 or 6 other families. So I'm like, I'm really looking forward to it. And like you said, man, they do this. Yeah, it's not Fiesta. They do this Festa though, but it's pretty amazing where they bring in. They have like a pizza truck, and they have like and I say truck, but it's like a pizza cart on like a 3-wheeled motorcycle.
Got it.
And they bring in all of like the food that they do. They make the fresh mozzarella. They're making like the doilies, like they're making pasta. They have all this like craftsmanship of Italy, and they're highlighting everything.
Can you explain what the doily is?
Yeah, doily is like a little thing that goes on the table, so you don't like you know, like it's like what you would put on like you put a lamp under it and things like that, right?
Right. Oh, so it's actually like it's not an item of food.
It's not an item of food, but they're actually
no, it's a doily.
It's a doily.
No,
yeah.
for some reason this is.
I know I was talking about food, but I just remembered that. And they make pasta. They make fresh mozzarella. They have a whole grilling station with all the meats. The fish, obviously in Puglia, the fish is unreal.
So Michael Wexler, we talked about him, I think, for a second on an earlier podcast. He had a really funny Instagram story. And I can't remember exactly what he was talking about, but he's basically talking about like during the summer, you go to these coastal restaurants across Europe, the Mediterranean, where people are partying, and everybody eats the same shitty version of lobster pasta, right? It's like the sloppy one, right? So do you know what he's talking about at all? Or?
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, I think.
And he's like, you can make a good version of it, but it's just that you go to these places and everybody serves a shit version of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think so I think it depends on where you go, but I will say, like, I can tell you the best lobster pasta that I've had, and it wasn't really like lobster, right? But the best version of that lobster pasta that I had was in Sardinia last summer.
Yeah.
And so you go, I mean, picture being at a beach club. I mean, because that's what it was, but it was really all the locals. It was in Sardinia.
Yeah, but keep in mind that there are the beach clubs like you think about when you think about music videos and bottle service, and there's just beach clubs where locals go. There are beach clubs everywhere.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, and we're using them interchangeably, and you're right. So like, yeah, I'm not thinking like a beach club where like I'm getting a bottle of, I don't know, Dom that a drone is flying in with, you know.
Why not? Why aren't you
I would love that. I don't know if I could afford that, Andy, but I mean, yeah, like it's not like a beach club like if I'm in Encore Beach Club during the day, but I would say like the beach club.
Shout out to win.
Shout out to win. No, I love the Encore Beach Club. But I would say like the beach club that I was thinking of is the one in Sardinia. That was probably the closest because They have one in Puglia, which is awesome too. But this particular one, I noticed that they bring you the actual live seafood from the tank.
No, cool.
And they put it on the scale. They like weigh it for you, and it's like a whole thing. They bought us a couple of options. We picked you always pick the friskiest lobster. Doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest, but you pick the friskiest one. And we were at this beach called Spiaggia di Torreda, and this was in Sardinia. And basically, it's all locals. I don't know how many hours it takes for people to get into the place because they usually cap it out by a certain point. So like 500 people are in, like until people leave, people come in. And I think I had probably the best lobster pasta that I've ever had.
Right. How did you get in?
So a good friend of mine lives in Italy. He's from Puglia. And he vacationed with us in Sardinia after our trip to Puglia last year. And he came with his girlfriend. And he basically bullshitted his way all the way through. And by the way, when I tell you there's a line of cops, you can't even get near the place.
Did he do it the old school way where he's greasing people? Like, did
Dude,
it cost him money? No, or
not a euro left his
charming.
hand. He was just charming, walked all the way to the front, talked to the guy. And by the next thing you know, we had a cabana. We were relaxing on the beach. And within 5 minutes, we had our name on a list, ready to have this beautiful lobster pasta. And it was spectacular. It was spectacular and not even expensive either.
Was it like Fra Diavolo style or was it?
It wasn't as spicy, but it was in just like a really light, fresh tomato sauce. The lobster was just so perfectly sweet and not really hard and not usually they make it too crunchy. This was like a perfect sweet texture and flavor. And I have to say, like, I mean, it probably blew my expectation because I'm not expecting to get that level of quality on a beach. Right. You would think that it would be just like some kind of shit lobster pasta that, Mike is probably familiar with.
Yeah.
Right?
Have you been to Randazzo's in Sheepshead Bay?
Oh God.
That's like that's the crazy Italian American version of that, right?
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
that to me,
and by the way, that's the best you're gonna get on the East Coast.
And that to me is the best version of that I've ever had because I've never had great lobster pasta in Italy. But to me, like that's the one. But yeah, that's the type of dish that it just makes you. It makes you, if you're a certain type of person, Italian American, or you're very bougie and you get to go to Borgo like Dom does or whatever. That's the kind of dish that like reminds you that like makes you think summer, right?
Absolutely.
Right,
I was gonna say there's one other dish I need to throw out there just because. Okay, cozza and patata. That is a mussel potato dish that they make with they take rice risotto. They don't cook it. They take risotto. They add like layers of olive oil, potatoes, mussels, like garlic, wine, and they take this dish as is, raw rice inside, and they bake it in an oven. And after I don't know how long, I mean, I'm assuming it's a while. They take out the dish and
because there's liquid in the rice. Cooked.
Yeah, so bro, it was one of my most favorite memorable dishes that I've had. And I was blown away by it. I was totally blown away by it. And I have to say, like, and the mussels are like on the half shell.
Oh.
So you're like eating the mussels with the rice inside and the potatoes. Oh, unbelievable.
So shit, I can't believe that I haven't asked you about this yet, but World's 50 Best is in Italy this year. I'm going mid-June. You were not invited, right?
This year?
Yeah.
Like this June?
Yeah.
When?
So the World's 50 Best is happening Thursday, June 19th in Torino, so in Piedmont.
Mm-hmm.
I'm invited. I don't know if you're going to be able to crash this, but maybe we can let you go to the after party, or you can smuggle in some cheese or something. But I wanted to ask you seriously.
Yeah.
I'm going to Piemonte. Is that correct? Is that how you pronounce it? Going to Piemonte for the first time. I'm going to Torino for the first time. What are the foods that I should be eating there? And you don't have to tell me specific restaurants. I just want to know, like, what makes this region different than the other regions? What should I be eating there?
And I was just there. I was just there in February. So I would say, like, it's a hearty. First of all, it's an absolutely beautiful part of the country. This was the first time in February.
You should come crash too.
I would
around.
love it, dude.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I was actually in Piedmont ever.
Right.
Was this past February. And I would say, like, the dishes are heartier, right? Of course, like the vitello tonnato, but like think of like heartier meat dishes.
Got it. So there's braised meats.
A lot of braised meats.
Lots of ragouts.
Ragouts. There's risotto. I'll tell you one thing.
I
Okay,
mean,
so
I love the I love the Italian dishes that are like short ribs and beef cheeks. I'm
Yeah.
totally gonna be happy, right?
you'll love it, man. And I have to tell you, it's a beautiful part. The wines are great. A friend of mine, same one that lives in Puglia, took us to what I'm calling an experience when we were in Piemonte. We went to, like I think it was like a 2 Michelin star restaurant, and they gave us frito misto. And initially, when I think of frito misto, I'm like, yeah, like what is it like?
Do you think
different
I'm getting calamari?
Yeah, like, and you get the zucchini and you get eggplant. Like, I'm just thinking of like fried things. This was a tasting experience, but all the frito misto was different parts of animals. Now, I'm like, I'll try anything once, but like, I don't want to. First of all, I don't really ever want to go to a Michelin star restaurant in Italy because I mean, I don't want to say it in a blanket way, but there's something to be said about simplicity of the Italian cuisine, which is what I'm.
Of course, when you go there, you want to eat the food that people just eat all the time.
Right. So we wind up going to this beautiful place, and it was frito misto. So, like, the first course was basically like fried pig's feet, which fine.
Oh,
I
so
don't mind. I don't mind
they turn bollito misto into frito misto.
Yes.
Right?
So think of every part of the animal, from the heart to the kidneys, whatever it was.
Are we naming this restaurant, or
if I remembered the name, you would name it? I don't want to name it because they do other things besides frito misto, and I never want to say anything bad about a restaurant.
Okay.
But I will say that, Andy, this was a very, very weird meal for me.
Yeah, how is this relevant to where I'm supposed to eat?
So what I'm telling you is stay away from the frito misto because it's not what you think it's going to be.
Okay. But you're basically saying that I should go there and I will eat braised beef.
I think you're going to have a lot of the meats is really where it's at right up there. The risottos, obviously. I'm going in September. I'm going to Bra, the cheese festival there. But dude, try the wines. I mean, I think it's a beautiful part of the country, and I think it's like it's a little different than the experiences you're gonna have if you go like to South, like to Rome and Puglia and things like that. Like, there's really no fish up there, but I mean, you're gonna love the meats. I mean, the rabbit too. Rabbit's great. The risottos, just stay in that lane, and I think you're gonna crush.
All right,
it's delicious.
I'm really looking forward to it. And you're gonna be Italy around the same time, but you're just gonna.
Yeah, but I'm going to be south. I don't think.
You're going to be
with the family.
Yeah, you're not going to make it there.
Yeah, you're going to be up north. But I'm actually jealous. I think you're going to have a great time.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
All right, so that's my summer.
Yeah. I mean,
where are you vacationing?
I mean,
where do you vacation?
Where do I vacation? I mean, you're going to love this. I mean, family goes to the North Fork of Long Island every single year. The North Fork versus the South Fork, that's the Hamptons. So in terms of vacation, that's that. That's just like eating pie at farm stands and going on the boat and being at the pool. But you know what it is for you and me. Sure, we vacation, but then we also just travel all the time. And even though the travel is fun, the travel is also a lot of work. So I'm going to Singapore because there's potentially events that we're going to do there. It is going to be ridiculously hot during the summer. But like, look, I'm Asian. I've been to Asia in the summer before. I'm used to that.
You've been to Singapore?
Oh yeah, I've been to Singapore. Singapore's great. Some of the best street food in the world. But all these Michelin-starred restaurants. So you would like it a lot, Dom, because you can go stay in really fancy, luxurious hotels, but you can then just go eat chicken over rice and saute skewers. But like, there are casinos there where the chefs are Guy Savoy, Wakuda, Nancy Silverton. All that stuff is there. It's just another huge metropolitan city that also has luxury casinos. So that's all there. There's Michelin-starred restaurants there, but the street food is just.
Yeah, what's the street food like? That's what I'd be interested in.
Chicken over rice, crab bihun, which is just, stir-fried crab over like some of the best noodles.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. That
stuff is great. There's
yeah.
laksa, which is a soup that's a little bit funky. You may not love it. They served it at a casilla for a while, but there's just, saute, which is skewers, meats on sticks, right?
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of that. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be there for a few days.
When you going?
I'm going to go like early July. And then, we did an event at Resorts World Las Vegas. The owners of that also own Zook, which is this nightlife group that they're turning into a restaurant group as well. I mean, it already is a restaurant group, but they're really going to lean in and become more of a restaurant group. They're opening up a French restaurant there. So I'm going to check that out. And after that, I don't know. I've got July August, just maybe we'll have some downtime. Maybe you've sold the podcast by then and I never have to work again. That's my hope. And then September, I'll just give a little teaser.
Yeah.
But we worked on a food festival last year. That was in the summer, and there's going to be a version of it, bigger and better, that's going to happen in September, and we'll tell you more about that when it's ready to
Will I be
announce.
invited?
Oh man.
He's got. Do we need to cut the commercial break? Was that awkward?
Yeah. Call Antonia. Maybe she can help you.
Oh man, no, it's exciting, bro. We got it's kind of crazy too because it's almost gonna be here. But there's a lot. It's here. It's here. I know you're right. It's here. There's a lot going on right now, but it's awesome. I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah. All right. So call your agent when you're sitting at home watching the Kentucky Derby or F1 on TV,
and to find out how I get invited next year.
Yeah, and
I love that.
How you get invited next year.
No doubt.
All right, get some sponsor. Right. What are the products that you work with? I mean, here's the thing. I don't want to give away too much of it, right? But it's how do you get invited to World's 50 Best? Well, World's 50 Best and Pellegrino go hand in hand. If you know somebody at Pellegrino, maybe that's how something like that happens. So that's the way. You just got to work the angles that you already have.
I got to give it a whirl. All right. Yeah. That's good advice, Andy. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. That's what I'm here for.